for Brantford-Brant.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to begin by expressing my deepest condolences to the royal family during this most heart-wrenching time. Her Majesty's sense of duty to Canada, along with her commitment to other members of the Commonwealth, was continuously demonstrated through her noble actions, and I know I speak for many when I say we are forever grateful for her devotion to this country. I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service. These are the famously remembered remarks from the speech that Princess Elizabeth made on her 21st birthday in 1947. This vow was more than promised, it was undeniably fulfilled. In 1951, 2 years prior to her coronation, Princess Elizabeth made a visit to my riding of Brantford-Brant. It was the first of 3 times that Her Majesty visited my riding. Accompanied by her husband, Prince Philip, the couple passed through the city on their way to review cadets at the Royal Military College in Kingston. Again in 1984, Her Majesty made her second visit to Brantford. Over 4,000 people, including myself and my parents, gathered at Her Majesty's Royal Chapel of the Mohawks, one of Canada's 3 royal chapels, where she unveiled a plaque recognizing the chapel as Upper Canada's first Anglican church and declared the land as a Canadian National Historic Site for being the oldest surviving church in Ontario. On that same tour, she visited the Six Nations of the Grand River, which is also located in my riding. The Six Nations commemorate the close ties between the Six Nations and the British Crown annually on Victoria Day by organizing a bread and cheese day. As many know, my riding is also known as the Telephone City. Alexander Graham Bell's family immigrated to Canada, and they settled on a small piece of farmland just outside the city. On Her Majesty's 3rd and final visit to Brantford in 1997, she paid a visit to the Bell Homestead, the historic site where Alexander Graham Bell first founded the telephone, acknowledging the achievements made by Mr. Bell along with his significance in Canadian history. On this tour, the Queen also dined at the Old School restaurant, which is still in operation today and is adorned with photos preserving that moment in history for their customers to continue to enjoy. I am thankful that many constituents across my riding have taken the time to contact my office, sharing the memories of her visits and expressing the feelings they had when she came: excitement, joy, hope, and kindness, and that her presence was unforgettable. The Queen's visits to Brantford are purely just one illustration of how, during her reign, she was a vigorous participant in Canadian historic evolution and was a genuine advocate for the future success of our country. Over her 70 years, Queen Elizabeth made 22 official trips to Canada. Throughout her reign, she witnessed the rise and fall of 12 prime ministers. Canada was the country that the Queen spent the most time in. Thus, I think it's safe to say that the Queen had a special place here in Canada, and we are thrilled to serve as her home away from home. Her Majesty's commitment to Canada only just began when she was crowned Queen of the United Kingdom in 1952 and became the first monarch to open the doors of our Parliament in 1957. Queen Elizabeth was the first monarch to be crowned Queen of Canada and dedicated her life to public service. Following the unforgettable footsteps of her great-grandmother, Queen Victoria, who had approved the Federation Act of 1867, Queen Elizabeth II went on to grant the Constitution Act of 1982 its royal assent. It was her influence on this legislation that laid the foundation for Canada to amend its constitution and allowed the Charter of Rights and Freedom to become law, permitting Canada to enter a new era, an era full of patriotism and pride. Millions of people around the world, in Canada and across the other 14 countries in which the Queen was head of state, are mourning. During her reign, Elizabeth traveled to 117 countries, including 56 Commonwealth states, and presided over 2.5 billion residents. She was undoubtedly the world's most traveled world leader, and her visits certainly played an important role in spreading democratic values throughout the globe throughout the last 70 years. In her 1947 speech, she encouraged everyone to make the Commonwealth freer, happier, more prosperous, and a more powerful influence for good in the world. To accomplish that, she said we must give nothing less than the whole of ourselves, and she did exactly that, and we must continue to uphold that vow. Her Majesty's commitment to all realms of the Commonwealth will forever be cherished, and her leadership, commitment, and inspiration will forever live on. The passing of Her Majesty was heartbreaking. Serving as the United Kingdom's longest reigning sovereign, there is no doubt that the mark she left is truly monumental. It has been both an honor and a privilege serving the citizens of Brantford-Brant as her member of Her Majesty's loyal opposition. She showed us how to lead, gave us hope, and set the best example of service above self. And to that, we owe her enormous gratitude. May God grant her eternal rest. And now I'd like to take this opportunity and stand very proudly as a member of the riding of Brantford-Brant and swear my allegiance to King Charles III. God save the King. Thank you, Madam Speaker.